Hello and welcome to the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. And today we have a nice episode, and we hope it will be really valuable to you if you're moving abroad and even if you're already living abroad. And we are going to talk about limiting beliefs while moving and living abroad. So stay with us.
And let's face it, we all have them, right? So just bear with us and
let's begin. Thank you for being here with us today as we talk about this very important topic, because limiting beliefs can really impact our experience abroad and overall this journey of moving abroad. And a lot of times we are the one that really hold ourselves back and prevent ourselves from having an amazing life abroad. So we want to go deeper in this topic today.
But maybe as a first, if you've never heard this term, limiting belief, let's talk about that. What are beliefs? What are empowering beliefs? Limiting beliefs? Let's try and understand this a little bit better. So, and by the way, if you don't have a notebook, we highly recommend you having one, so you can take some notes while we speak. Yes. So beliefs.
What are beliefs?
Beliefs, basically, as it sounds, are those things we think about, our thoughts, okay? Those are beliefs. But the difference between a thought and a belief is that we actually have proofs, or we really believe that they are true. We have validation for this thought, okay? And this validation might have occurred over years. It might be like something that society says. It might be something that you experience in your past. The more you have validations to this specific thought, well, it creates a stronger belief, okay? But eventually, it's a thought. And I think it's important to mention this.
Absolutely. And so based on that, a limiting belief would be a thought that we really have proof that it's true and validations that this is actually the reality, that is actually limiting us and preventing us from moving forward, from having things that we want, from stopping ourselves from doing things.
And we want to be really honest and open with you. Everyone, including us, has a lot of beliefs, a lot of limiting beliefs, some empowering beliefs. We have just a lot of them, and they come from a wide range. Like, there's so much we believe in, okay? And it really doesn't matter what's your background, what's your culture, what do you do in your life. There's a lot of beliefs that we have from a very young age, some that are really anchored in our system. This is true. This must be true.
This is the reality.
This is the reality. And what we're going to do today, and we're going to give you some example, is challenge all those beliefs.
And as we challenge those beliefs is, a start to creating new beliefs, because this is something that we can actively do, create the beliefs that we want. So, implementing a new belief, a new system in our brain, and then getting the validations to make it a strong and solid belief. But let's move backward a little bit and go back to those beliefs and the validations that we have. And like you mentioned, sometimes those are really rooted in us from a very early age. Sometimes
it's not even from our life.
It's not ours. Sometimes it's
validation from the past. And let's give you some examples, okay? Like, not necessarily about life abroad, but like those big beliefs of women in society. What are our beliefs about what we're supposed to do, what we can do, what we should do. Those are all thoughts that had been anchored with validation and proof over the years of experiences, of a society, of generations that made those beliefs, right?
Yes. And if we'll take moving abroad and living abroad, some beliefs could be, moving abroad is only for rich people or very young people. You can only do this if you don't have kids, or you can only move abroad if you have a big job opportunity abroad, or all those kind of beliefs. And then if this is what you believe in and you are looking sometimes unconsciously for validation why this is true, and then you hear of someone that got a really great job opportunity in the US and he's moving abroad and he's single and he doesn't have kids, and say, see, this is why what I believe is true. And when you do that, you don't see a lot of time all the other things, all the couples that are moving with teenagers without having a job opportunity, all the people that are retiring abroad, all the people that are moving by themselves and looking for a job when they arrive, or starting their own business in another country. You don't see all of those, because when we have certain beliefs, we are always looking constantly for validations and for approval of why this is true.
Why what we believe in is true. And the reason why we do that is that, honestly, all those beliefs are here to protect us in some way, okay? That's what we do to make it easier for ourselves. It's easier when we believe something. Let's say, for example, that I want to give you like an empowering belief, that I believe that everything is possible. I honestly believe that. And I've created the proof for it over the years. So whenever something feels like it's not possible, I'm like, wait a second, but I believe everything is possible. And I've proved it to myself many times before. And I look around and I see people do things that are crazy, so it's possible. So I know it's still. So it serves a purpose. But on the other hand, there are beliefs that are serving a purpose to protect us. Like, for example, I know that for years I believed that women cannot get a really good paid job because they will have to choose kids at some point. This was a belief I had before, not anymore. But it was, and it served a purpose for years, because it contained me into like, okay, so you can go for this job and it's enough, it's fine, right? And then I had to break the belief, because it served a purpose for a while and then it didn't serve a purpose anymore. But we need to understand that it's there, and it's there most of the time to protect us.
Yes, and you mentioned breaking a belief or busting beliefs, or just trying to break the system there. And we need to understand that there's a metaphor of, think of a table, okay, where this belief is the top of the table, okay, your thought, your initial thought, and in the beginning it's just a thought. And maybe your parents told you something and proved to you that this thought that's the truth. So it's like putting a leg,
a pillar under the table.
And then as you grow up, you did something and you added another pillar. And when you went out in society, your friends told you, oh yes, this is true, and another pillar. And you add all the time pillars to make this table so steady, and nothing can question the stability of your belief. And then when one day you realize that this belief doesn't serve you anymore, and it's not that it's not true, it's that it doesn't serve you anymore. This truth doesn't belong to you anymore, and you want to start to question this, but this is so solid because for years you put another pillar and this table is so steady, and it's really, really hard to break down the stability of this belief. And sometimes it takes long processes and psychotherapy, sometimes coaching, or any other experiences to just start to shake the building and take off some of the pillars and start to question, what's going on here? Until you can flip the table and then you have a new belief. And then you need to find proof and validations and new pillars to put on there. Yeah. And it takes time, and it's a process.
It takes time, it's a process. And if we have to be totally honest with you right now, busting those very solid beliefs can be very painful.
Yes.
Very, very painful. Because once you question it, especially those deep-rooted, anchored beliefs that you've been living by for years, when you bust it and then you're questioning it, you're like, how did I believe in this for so long? How long have it been holding me back sometimes? And naturally, and that's, I think, an important part to understand about beliefs, naturally we have a lot of limiting beliefs. Things that we say to ourselves, again, to protect, that we found the validation and the proof for it in our own life, in our parents' life, in our grandparents' life, and it became something so solid that we lived by. And then when you ask yourself, but does it serve me? Do I honestly still believe in it? And you have all the proof to believe in it, but you question it. It makes it questions your entire, sometimes your entire life, and it's hard. We have to say it. We've busted some beliefs that made it really hard on ourselves.
Yes, you kind of angry at yourself. Like, oh my God, how have I wasted all my life until today believing something that doesn't serve me or is really making things harder for me? But that's the way to bring, self-compassion and some being kind to yourself and understanding that it served you for a while. It was here serving a purpose. And right now you can move forward, and that's totally kind. That's totally okay. That's part of a process. It's a journey. And I want to talk a little bit about beliefs that are related to life abroad and moving abroad.
And we see them all the time. Actually, we had some of those ourselves.
Yes.
We will share, but we also see it all the time. You're talking about it on social media. We read your posts. We read your messages that you send us. We go live and we talk with some of you and we hear it. And now, because we are expert in this. We do this all the time. We hear those limiting beliefs even without you noticing that it is a limiting belief.
Yes.
And I want to share with you a couple of them so maybe you can resonate.
I think one of the biggest limiting beliefs for mothers, for example, that are moving with kids abroad, and honestly, it was my belief as well at some point, is that when we move abroad, we need to first take care of the kids and see that they are all settled down, and then we will have time to take care of ourselves. Only when our kids will be okay, we will liberate ourselves to take the time to settle in the new country ourselves. The result of this belief is we see women after 6 months, a year, feeling miserable because they don't belong. Their kids are thriving, speaking a new language, having lots of friends, enjoying school, enjoying the new country, having an adventure. It's an amazing journey. And the mom, she's broken. She's just broken. And honestly, it happened to our mother as well. When we first moved abroad, we were thriving for real. We arrived to France when we were just little girls. We were thriving, having a lot of friends, enjoyed the new life, and she was miserable. And honestly, we discovered it only a few years later when she told us that this is how she felt, because we, as kids, we didn't notice. And when I had kids, and I'm like, okay, so I need to first take care of them and then me. And then I felt miserable. And, but busting this belief, because we have the validation for it everywhere. Yeah, you see mothers everywhere, all around the world, even without moving abroad, first taking care of their kids, and then when the kid is asleep, then I'll take time to myself. When the kid are good, then I can do something for myself. But actually, if we think about it, and we love this metaphor from the airplane. When you're in the airplane and something happens and you need an oxygen mask, if you listen to the security movie before takeoff, then you'll notice that you first need to put your own oxygen mask and then put it on your kids. Because if you don't have oxygen, you can't help him. You can't, and when you arrive abroad and you're feeling so stressed, so miserable, so lost, you can't help anyone. What you'll do is that you'll only make it harder for your kids if you're not well. And this is a new belief. When I'm well, I can help my kids settle in. When I'm settled in, I can be more helpful for all my family. When I feel good, everyone around me feels better. This is a new belief. And then you need to find validation why this is true. And this is possible. This is here. One of the validation is us telling you that for me, when I arrived to France 2 years ago, I made sure I have a place to work out, a place to practice yoga, time to do my meditations, time to meet new friends, new people, that I'm really taking care of my own well-being. And then I'm available to my kids when they come and they need help doing homework in a language they don't speak, reaching out to parents of friends to invite people over. I'm much calmer. I don't shout. I don't cry all the time. Actually, this is better.
This is better. So this is one amazing limiting belief. And I'll tip here, like, what are we usually doing to start busting beliefs? And maybe we'll go like deeper into it. My biggest, funkiest, weirdest thought is I ask myself, is this really true? And as I said before, the instinctive response will be yes, because you have all the proof and all the experiences and all the movies showing you that this is how it's supposed to be. But ask yourself, is this really true? Like, really, really true? Like, there's no one other example that it's maybe not true? That's where you start questioning it.
This is where the table's
a little bit shaky. And I want to give you another example. Okay? A lot of the times, and we hear it a lot, we've done it a lot. Moving abroad is challenging. Moving abroad is hard. Moving abroad is draining. Moving abroad is exhausting. All those are beliefs. Is it really true? Depends. If the answer is depends, it means the table cannot be that stable. It will depend on how you approach the situation, how you prepare for your life abroad, what actions are you taking.
What's your situation?
Your own situation. There's a lot of things. But let me guarantee you this. If you believe moving abroad is hard, if you believe moving abroad is challenging, guess what? Your experience of moving abroad will be hard and challenging. You will
make everything, unconsciously sometimes, to prove yourself that this is hard.
You know, for example, a lot of time we do things and then we believe moving abroad is challenging, and then challenges occur, and they occur to everyone. It's part of moving abroad. It doesn't make it challenging, there's a difference. But if we believe that moving abroad is challenging and something occurs, then we're like, see, I told you, moving abroad is challenging. Now it's hard. I cannot move. I don't do anything. And then we give our self-validation to this thing, serving us to actually be more frustrated, be more tired, telling everyone, you see, it was too hard to come. I shouldn't have done it. And that's how we block ourselves. That's why it's a limiting belief. So this is something we see a lot of the time.
All the time, yes.
I want to tell you another one that has been challenged yesterday. Honestly.
Fresh from the oven.
Fresh from the oven. There is a limiting belief that I have as well. It's been shaken yesterday, but I see it all the time. All the time. It's really hard to make local friends. When you move abroad, when you live abroad, it's really hard to connect with locals. It's really hard to make local friends. And I say local and not a specific country because I hear it about all the countries. It's impossible to make friends with French people. It's impossible to make friends with British. It's impossible to make friends with...
Or on the other end, Spanish people are so friendly. Portuguese are so...
We hear that all the time. And it's been challenged yesterday because I sat down with two French people and I said to them, you know how hard it is to make French friends? I don't have French friends. I've been here for 3 years. It's so hard to make French friends. And they looked at me and they'd be like, why? We're nice people. Just go to a coffee place and talk to us. We'll respond. And I was like, no, you're not. French. You're not. And funny enough, after this conversation with them, I was like, maybe they're right. Maybe this table is not that stable. Like, maybe I haven't tried to make French friends because I had this limiting belief that, oh, I'll go and only meet expats because it's easier. Because expats connect with expats and it's easy. And French, hard. So I'll go with the easy. So maybe I haven't tried. So I don't know. And that's where we talk about beliefs. And I can tell you that since yesterday, this table, I'm like, ooh, I love that. So it's completely shaking. And every time now that this thought comes back, and it's been coming back like a lot in this past 24 hours, I've been telling myself, but is it really true? Because someone just told me that it might not be. I'll have to check. I need new validations. I need new proof. I need new set of roots for this new table because it might be different than I thought.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, all those thoughts we have about another country, about local people in another country, those all are limiting us at the end of the day. Those are prejudice and, some weird thoughts that we have about French people being arrogant or Italian being machos. I heard it, last weekend. I sat down with a couple of French people because I connected to French people, and they were talking about, we hate Italian people. They are so macho and rude, and I'm like, what? You French people saying they are rude? Have you heard yourself? But honestly, those really are limiting us. And when we generalize, saying French people are arrogant or Italians are rude, it doesn't say anything, in fact, because people are people. There are arrogant people everywhere. There are rude people everywhere. There are super nice people everywhere. And in France, in Italy, in the UK, in the US, in Spain, everywhere. In China, I'm sure. I haven't... Oh, we did meet a Chinese...
and she was really nice.
She was really nice.
But this is where a belief can also turn into your favor. Because, for example, if you start to believe that... We'll talk about French because we talk French. That French are not arrogant. French are amazing people. that French are super nice people, if you believe it, if you'll find the proof, if you'll build this new table and this is what you will believe in, well, guess what? You'll meet really nice French people. You'll meet really amazing people you can connect with, because you will come with this idea that it's really good and it's really nice. So those beliefs are really impacting how we act, what we do, how we approach situations. So we need to be really careful about what is it that we have inside our brain and what is it that we let guide our steps, because those beliefs are guiding our steps. And if we're not careful enough, we might act in a really weird way, whereas we could have acted completely differently and the result will be completely different.
Absolutely. You know, another example would be French bureaucracy is impossible. Okay? Impossible. We hear it all the time. We see it, you know, on Facebook posts. French bureaucracy is impossible. A secret? We read it on other Facebook groups as well, like Italian bureaucracy is impossible, English bureaucracy is impossible, German bureaucracy is impossible.
Finnish.
So it's true, it's impossible everywhere. But if this is what you believe, it will be impossible. If you change the narrative, change your way of thinking, change your belief, and say, okay, this is different. French bureaucracy is different from what I know, but totally doable.
You know, I want to give you an example that maybe resonates with you very much. A couple of years ago, if someone would have come to you and be like, I want to work for an American company, but live in Spain or in Italy, you would tell them, it's impossible. How can you do that? You cannot do that. But then COVID hit and everyone started working remote. And now it's almost common that you sign up for a contract in one country living in another. It's completely like digital nomad became a thing. And there are digital nomads from 20 years ago, but they were the weirdos. They were the people that have done crazy things. And if they believed that it's impossible, they would have never started this, right? But now, the community of digital nomad is like, you can do everything. You can work 3 weeks here, 3 weeks there, keep on doing this, doing that. It's a completely new belief. Is the reality different? No. The only thing that changed is what we believe is real. And then amazing new opportunities open up.
You know, there's a great saying that I love, that you don't see reality as it is, you see reality as you are. And then that's the place to decide how you want to see your reality. And like we said at the beginning, this is a sometimes very long process, sometimes it's a painful process. But what we invite you to do today is just start putting question marks on your beliefs and ask yourself, is this really true? And does it serve me this way? Or maybe I want to start challenging this belief.
Yeah, and whether you're currently like dreaming of a life abroad, planning your move abroad, already moved abroad, our bet, if you're human, like if you're ChatGPT, you probably don't have this, but if you're human, you have beliefs. Some of them are limiting, some of them are empowering. It's your choice to decide what you believe in. So I can tell you that very honestly, this is something we do on a daily basis. Every time we say a sentence that like comes you'll see yourself like, it comes very instinctively. Like you're like, oh, it's so hard to find an apartment in Paris. Is it? Is it really true? Like, how many question marks do you need to put on this sentence to ask yourself, like, is it really true? And then you'll start shaking and sometimes you will ask yourself this and you will keep on seeing only the proof that it is. might be right now true in your life, and it's fine. But if you really want something and you feel like those beliefs are holding you back, it's time to start questioning them.
Just start by questioning it. Ask yourself, does it really serve me to think this way?
I can tell you that yesterday we went live and we shared a little bit about what we do and how, like, the fact that we moved 8 times and how we use mindset to do all of that and how we prepared ourselves. And someone asked us, isn't it so draining to move so many times? How have you done it so many times? I haven't done it once and I don't even know where to start. And all I could hear, and I'm sure you did too, is the limiting belief that moving abroad is
draining.
It's draining.
It's hard and challenging, and you get tired from doing this. And this is not our belief. We believe that moving abroad is fun and exciting and an amazing adventure and experience. And this is where you grow and discover new things about yourself and about the world and new people. This is exciting to us. Our belief is that moving abroad is an exciting thing. This is how we live, moving abroad. Yeah. But that's a choice. We constantly chose to, and consciously chose to live this way, to believe that life abroad for us is exciting.
Yeah. So it's really about that. And really, I want you to take time. We said in the beginning, if you have a journal, write things down. Write it down. Those things that are coming, what you post online, look at the sentences. There's always a belief there. There's always, I've seen so many messages of women, because we're in all the Facebook groups possible, saying like, is it okay as a woman alone to move to Spain? There's a belief there. There is a belief that as a woman in the back of moving abroad as a single woman.
That it's not safe because you're alone, that it's not safe to live in Spain, that it's not a lot of things.
I see a lot of those messages about teenagers. How hard it will be for my teenagers to move at a certain age, or what damages am I doing to my teenagers if I'm moving them right now? Will they hate me? All those things, all those questions that you put out there, that people put out there, are always, their source is this belief that we have. Because otherwise we will not ask the question. And actually when we ask the question a certain way, you're always getting the validation for what you put out there. So if you're asked, how hard is it going to be? You get 3,000 responses of why is it going to be so hard.
Yeah.
If you only ask, how easy is it going to be? You'll get all the other people, all the other 3,000 that are going to prove you that it's actually easy. So it's a matter of what you put out there, what the words are using.
Absolutely.
And the words you're using are based on your own beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that for now, just journal a little bit about your own beliefs regarding your move abroad or your life abroad. There are so many, and just start noticing what are those beliefs that come through your phrases when you speak about your move abroad or your life abroad to others, to your partner, maybe to yourself even.
Yeah. And if you're brave enough, share it with us. Comment in this podcast, whether you're listening to it on your favorite platform or YouTube. Just share with us, what are your beliefs about life abroad and moving abroad? We'd love to hear that. Maybe we could help you bust some of them, showing you that might not be that true.
And we believe that this episode is really valuable for people that are moving abroad. But if you do think so as well, then leave us a rating, put a like there, subscribe to our channel.
A review would be amazing. We believe that you love this show, so you want to support us. That's what we believe in.
Yes.
So in the meantime, we want to say thank you for listening to us. We love you, and we send you positive vibes and wish you
An amazing day.